3 U.S. soldiers were killed today after a drone attack struck a base in Jordan, with a number of injured expected to rise as 8 are in critical condition and have been medically evacuated. The attack was carried out by Iranian-sponsored militant groups.
Tell me if you would be scared if you were responsible for dropping these drones of this response.
We had a tough day last night in the Middle East. We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases, and we shall respond.
Hey fam, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another reaction. This is Segovia coming to you live from the man cave. Hope everyone out there is having a good hump day. We're halfway through the week, y'all. We got a good reaction today, back with another TikTok compilation I put together. Hope you guys enjoy. But before we get into it, anyone that was there during the live, I don't know what happened. We started getting deep into this whole Israel type thing that's going on right now, and they shut my live down. I was going to get back online, but you know, we're already 90% done with the live, so I ended it. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm going to do a little bit of research before I go live again, see what's allowed, see what's not, because it said it was a copyright strike, but it's not copyrighted content right now, so I don't know. But hey, it's in the past. It is what it is. We'll learn from it and get better. But in the meantime, y'all, let's sit back and enjoy this reaction. All right, y'all, here we go. Hey, I got to be honest with you guys. I'm having a hard time finding good content. So down in the comments, I'm going to say this every video. I'm going to be uploading these 4 times a week. Let me know some ideas down below of what we can put on here. Some TikTok theories you guys want me to go deep on. I would like to get your guys' input, so I put content on here that you guys actually like. All right, so leave some comments down below. Let me know what you guys like, what you want me to start looking up and going deep down the rabbit hole on, and we'll do that. But hey, sit back, enjoy. Got me a nice Gatorade Zero to sip on right here with y'all. Let's have some fun.
Everyone in the world needs to know about what's happening in Texas right now between the governor, Greg Abbott, and Joe Biden, and how this may possibly lead America into its second civil war. So I'm sure you guys have seen tons of these videos already, so I'm not going to go and drag it out. I'm just going to hit these points quick and fast. Right now, there are a huge number of illegal immigrants coming across from Mexico to Texas, and Greg Abbott is trying to stop them. Well, Joe Biden and the federal government is saying what Greg Abbott is doing by putting razor wire at the border is unconstitutional and that it needs to be removed, and Joe Biden gave Greg Abbott a deadline of today, Friday, to remove that razor wire. Now, right now, there is a standoff going on between the Texas National Guard and the federal troops that are at the border right now, where neither side is budging as they're waiting to hear from Greg Abbott and Joe Biden. Well, when Greg Abbott did not allow the troops to get close to the border by 1 p.m. Eastern today, Joe Biden, instead of pushing through, decided to affect Texas directly and limit the liquid natural gas export of Texas, and is now trying to crash the Texas economy and the Texas residents with their jobs that depend on this liquid natural gas export. Greg Abbott said that they are prepared if Biden does federalize the National Guard, and that he has other armed law enforcement personnel standing guard at the border. Oklahoma is getting ready to send their National Guard to help Texas at the border, and right now nobody has any idea of what is about to happen, but it is very scary and everyone around the world needs to know.
3 U.S. soldiers were killed today and at least 34.
Now on a live yesterday, I got into a video. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he was saying just by them, there's about 3,500 people coming into the country legally a day at that Eagle Pass. Since they put up the wires and just had a presence there, right? Just saying, hey, this isn't allowed, you're going to get arrested. Just doing that, it went from 3,500 a day to zero. Zero, y'all, just by that. Now, I'm sure there's policies, laws we got to go through and whatnot, but it seems so simple to end it. But, you know, it's making it difficult.
Were injured after a drone attack struck a base in Jordan, with a number of injured expected to rise as 8 are in critical condition and have been medically evacuated. The attack was carried out by Iranian-sponsored militant groups, and the Islamic resistance in Iraq claimed responsibility for the attack. And this is the first time U.S. soldiers have been killed by Iranian proxies since they started. It's an incredible escalation that will likely be met with a massive response. This is the bloodiest attack on U.S. troops in the Middle East in a while, and it's also the first lethal drone strike on the U.S. ever. U.S. senators are already calling on the president to strike Iran, with Senator Lindsey Graham saying, "Hit Iran now, hit them hard," on U.S. troops in the middle of the attack. And
listen to what he says. Like, this is the deadliest or the bloodiest drone attack ever. Like, these things are happening for a reason.
The first time U.S. soldiers have been killed by Iranian proxies since they started. It's an incredible escalation that will likely be met with a massive response. This is the bloodiest attack on U.S. troops in the Middle East in a while, and it's also the first lethal drone strike on the U.S. ever.
First drone strike on us ever, right? So that tells you they're not scared of our leadership. They're not scared of our military. They're not scared of repercussions. Look at the next clip. Tell me if you would be scared if you were responsible for dropping these drones of this response. It's coming in the next clip.
Senators are already calling on the president to strike Iran, with Senator Lindsey Graham saying, hit Iran now, hit them hard. The Speaker of the House saying that America must send a crystal clear message. Also, a member of the House Armed Services Committee said that Iran is directly ordering these attacks. And the president says that a response is coming, with response plans reportedly being drawn up at this very moment, and it could come as early as tonight. It also wouldn't be surprising if Iran itself gets it in addition to these groups in Iraq and Syria, with this reportedly being the 159th Iranian-sponsored attack on the U.S. since October. Meanwhile, the UK called on Iran to stop escalating, and the soldiers were on an advise and assist mission with the Jordanian military. But as all of this develops, follow to stay in the loop.
We had a tough day last night in the Middle East. We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases, and we shall respond.
Nobody's scared of that. We shall respond, right? I keep forgetting to, I'm going to put this in my notes while we're doing this video. You know, when Trump talked to the Taliban leader, telling him, you know, if I forgot the quote or whatever, but if you kill one more soul or anything, any American soldiers, you know, we're going to blow your house up. Something like that in that context. But I'm going to put that in the next clip. I always forget, but that would have been perfect to put right here. Like the differences of like putting fear into people. And guess what? Not a soldier got killed. So 49ers fan.
Most of your constituents want stop the genocide, stop the Holocaust.
The Democrats want the ceasefire. The Democrats want the ceasefire. The Democrats want
Go back to China where you came
about
from.
the
That's
shit
crazy.
you see on Instagram these days. And then we were talking about how when we were kids, Faces of Death was the wildest thing we'd ever seen. Like, and it was
nothing compared to what you see on Instagram. Nothing. You can go on Instagram and see
got it in my
1,150.
notes, y'all.
You know I'm about to get in my soapbox, right?
Yeah, please.
You can go on Instagram and watch 1,100.
Before we get into this, we're going to be following this Iran thing because we're supposedly supposed to be striking them pretty damn soon within the days. I don't know when it's going to happen, if it's going to strike Iran, if it's going to strike a base out in Iraq, Jordan, something. But we're going to be following this, you know, pretty deeply. But let's get back into the video.
50 million people get stabbed, shot, killed, thrown off buildings, and it'll show up on your Explorer page.
Right.
I post a picture of a gun. I'm throttled. I don't show up on the
Never
Explore page.
seen
Nothing.
a gun on my Explore page.
The level of it's not even. I don't even call it shadow banning anymore. They tell you they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't post. I even not post guns. This is the responsible way to handle a firearm. Throttled.
Yeah, no, wow.
Throttled. Like it's insane on Instagram. Like what Instagram is doing to the gun community is monumentally insane. So you know what the fucked up part about it is? Because of the way they are about that, the only representation of firearms that you're going to get exposed to, generally speaking, if you're not already following them, are the negative representations of firearms or the unsafe way to handle a firearm.
Yes.
Because those are making it. But the shit that we post the responsible shit, that doesn't.
Israeli government is flying out like.
Yeah, I got my first taste of getting shut down, right? I always hear people, their live gets, when I'm watching them, their live got shut down. I got my first taste of it yesterday. It's not a good feeling, y'all. Like, now I got to be careful, you know, not be careful what I say, but I guess just watch what I put out because at the end of the day, I don't have 100% control over this channel, right? They can shut it down at the push of a button, and they did that to me last night, but we going to be back. We going to be back.
Celebrities for free out there to do a tour for free, and it's on the house. They fly you first class, the whole thing. And I go, it's free? And they go, yeah, it's not free. Because when you land there, they go, you have to every day tweet positive things about Israel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just felt so uneasy about it. I don't know much about it. I just know that they're in conflict. But I did what they said. It was just basically, you know, Palestinians, Israel's a beautiful country.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's true.
It is true, but then it's like I had to tag the government in it or whatever.
Oh, that's crazy. The Israeli government?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird as
Yeah, and it was just like every day it was just nonstop.
You were cucking for the Israeli government.
Yeah, but I wish I hadn't gone really.
See, that's it wasn't this exact video. He was on Joe Rogan recently, and you know they went a little deeper on it. That's the video we were reacting to, and they shut it down, y'all. It's crazy that, and it wasn't even like a conspiracy, right? That's what they do. They just didn't want people. I guess they didn't want people to know my little channel to spread the word, right? We had 30, 40 people in here, and I appreciate all you guys that were in here. But we're a small live streaming channel, and they still shut it down because that's what we were talking about. And it wasn't like a made up story, right? He's saying this is what happened. This is what they do when you go over there. They want you to tweet to the government and say how great Israel is. Hopefully this video don't get shut down. I still didn't learn my damn lesson. Still reacting to the same video. Look at this crazy. Look at this. Out there protesting on inflation. They take it to another level, throwing manure all over the place. Civil unrest all over the world, y'all. It's just the energy. The energy in the world is just not good. It's just not a good energy.
President Biden said he's ready to take action if Congress is serious about.
And these people are the culprits of that bad energy. The media, both sides, MSNBC and Fox News, both of them are the reason for all this negative energy in this world.
Solving the border issue.
If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly. And Congress needs to get it done.
Starting another fucking war. Still trying to kill the deal.
You guys think that's real?
Zorro Ranch has been shrouded in secrecy. 8,000-acre New Mexico. 2021, it hit the market for $27.5 million in a question.
I had no idea. I live like 2 hours away from this ranch. I didn't even know. It's not even a long drive from me. They're doing, well, I've only been here for six months, but they're doing these crazy things 2 hours away from me.
For answers, 2 YouTubers tried to buy the property. Watch.
Epstein, he didn't spare a dime. I mean, he really had great taste.
Yo, Carter, check this out.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Dude, I didn't realize that part of it's underground.
What do you want it for? What's your idea? You obviously know the history of it and all that, the ownership and everything, right?
Today, we are officially canceling the leases with the Zorro Ranch and South Business.
The greatest threat to people put in solitary confinement is they try to kill themselves. Imagine that. You're only in a room for 24 hours, you start to go crazy.
Somebody actually took a picture apparently and put it on Facebook of Through the Loom having a cornucopia. So here it is.
Someone took this picture and I saw it on Facebook. I knew it. I knew there was a cornucopia on Fruit of the Looms, because why else would I know the word cornucopia? Like Thanksgiving, maybe, but no, I remember this vividly. And Fruit of the Looms is like, no, it was never there. It was just a fruit. Y'all remember this too, right? Like, I'm not just bugging.
Well, what you guys need to do is take this video you're watching here, make it go viral, and tag
those tags,
Fruit of the Loom.
Those tags that are the print on the shirt, those ones didn't have it. But the old, I used to sell vintage clothes, so I learned a little bit about tags. Like the other tag, like our tags now are just printed on. They're not even, you can't even rip them off. They're just printed on there. So those ones are probably made up and fake. But the other ones with like the red line under it, or the ones that say Fruit of the Loom, like the old school tags when you used to rip them off, your parents would say you're going to ruin your shirt if you take your tag off. Those ones had the cornucopia, and those are from like the 90s and 80s.
And when you tag them in the comment next to your tag, say, what do you say, Fruit of the Loom? Because if this is real, Fruit of the Loom's going to have to answer.
Yeah, because they're denying it ever having a cornucopia. It's not like this is a new thing that we're doing now. They're actually denying they ever had a cornucopia.
I guess they could just say that somebody printed that on there.
Looks pretty old and legitimate, and that picture is what I've always known for the Loom.
Those ones are real.
So
yeah, so like I said, tag them, Fruit of the Loom.
Those are real.
And ask them, what is this?
That's not. I remember it, Plaid. I was a little boy watching this video on repeat when it came on TRL and MTV. We didn't have YouTube back in the day to watch this and put it on repeat. We had to catch it at 5 o'clock on TRL with Carson Daly. But I remember it being Plaid. What about y'all? Microphone too. I remember that. I was all over Britney Spears back in the day. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much, y'all, but I'm trying to interact with y'all. I remember a Sinbad Shazam. I know it. Shaq too. I remember Shaq's and his. I know I ain't crazy with this one. This is the number one that catches me. Like, I remember vividly. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch Shaq's whatever his was either. I didn't watch either one of those. Not my type of movie, right? But I remember Sinbad's Shazam. That they'll all die on.
These are some of the craziest things that were recently discovered. Just last year, archaeologists in Lima, Peru came across a mummy that was bound in ropes in an underground tomb. It's estimated to be up to 1,200 years old, as rope binding was a traditional part of the local funeral process around that time. A linguistics study recently found that winter workers
crazy.
in Australia have started to develop an entirely new accent. This is a result
I think he meant Antarctica, but
of them being isolated and in regular contact with only each other for several months. In the early 1900s, British explorer Percy Fawcett theorized about an ancient lost city called Z that was somewhere in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. But he was never able to prove this myth since he vanished in 1925 during his third attempt to find the city. However, thanks to recent LiDAR technology, scientists have been able to digitally peel back part of the Amazon rainforest, revealing an extensive urban settlement that was heavily populated for many centuries. These areas are very difficult to excavate since they're very deep in the jungle, but scientists believe that within the next 10 to 20 years, our historical perception of the Amazon will completely change.
And it's real life Jurassic Park with purpose.
Where are they going to put them?
So there's a couple different things going on. So the first one they're working on is the woolly mammoth, right? And this isn't just for fun. This has real, like, important conservation implications, which is really fascinating. But they are planning on starting with, I think, 100 mammoths and putting them in this place called not Pleistocene Park, something like that. This park in Siberia that they've been doing this experiment on as to what happens when you add megafauna back into the Arctic tundra to offset carbon emissions.
Wow. And so they're using what DNA? They're using elephant DNA and mixing it with something else?
So it's Indian elephant is the closest living relative to the woolly mammoth.
And what does an Indian elephant look like? Is it similar to an elephant?
Yeah, it's a smaller. So African elephants are bigger. They have the really big ears.
Right.
Indian elephants are typically the ones you'd see at the circus, with the pink in the ears, the smaller triangular shaped ears. So just a different species of elephant. And so they're taking Indian elephants and they're using CRISPR technology and they're using existing mammoth DNA and they're making an embryo and then they're implanting it into the Indian elephant, and 22 months later, an Indian elephant's gestation period, she will give birth to a mammoth.
A real mammoth?
A real mammoth.
First woolly mammoth will be launched.
2024.
What?
Yeah.
Next year?
Next year. It's real life Jurassic Park with purpose. Starting with, I think, 100 mammoths and putting them in this park in Siberia as to what happens when you add megafauna back into the Arctic tundra to offset carbon emissions.
They're using what DNA? They're using elephant DNA?
Indian elephant is the closest living relative to the woolly mammoth. They're using CRISPR technology and they're using existing mammoth DNA and they're making an embryo and then they're implanting it into the Indian elephant, and 22 months later, an Indian elephant's gestation period, she will give birth to a mammoth.
A real mammoth?
A real mammoth.
So it's not like a hybrid?
If you imagine the DNA of an animal, and then you imagine the fragments that are broken out of it, what they're doing is they're taking that DNA, and all those pieces that are missing from the mammoth, they're putting in Indian elephant pieces.
There's a lot of debate about whether or not humans killed.
We're going to be keeping up with that too. I want to see a damn woolly mammoth. That's going to be a trip. Been gone for thousands of years, and they brought it back. I'll be damned. Technology, y'all. We're getting a little too close to God. Getting a little too close to playing that.
Off the woolly mammoth, though, isn't there?
The Arctic used to be like the savannas of Africa. It used to be
is
big
crazy.
grasslands,
This is like
right? It
the
wasn't
circle,
all covered in trees
the
and things.
circle of life,
and that's
right?
a recent adaptation since the
We're all
mammoths went
connected.
away 10, 20,000 years ago. And so that's what's happened is the permafrost up there is melting pretty rapidly, right? Underneath that permafrost is like 1.5 trillion tons of carbon. And once that carbon enters the atmosphere, it heats things up like crazy. So by removing those mammoths, it's allowing that permafrost to melt much quicker and release more carbon. So the idea from like a financial standpoint of how they make money is the carbon offset of putting mammoths back into the environment.
How do they make it colder?
When there's trees and shrubs, they take in more heat, and that heat transfers into the ground. So in this Pleistocene park, this park that they've been doing this experiment in Siberia for a while, they've put in a couple hundred animals that aren't mammoths, right? They've put in ox and reindeer and things like that, and they're knocking trees over with the tractors. And once they knock trees over and they simulate a mammoth knocking the trees and shrubs over, the fleet grazers are able to keep the vegetation from regrowing. So when the vegetation doesn't regrow, you get all this grassland, and the grassland has snowpack. The snowpack gets stumped, so there's no insulation. It reflects more light. It's like 3 or 4 different processes that make the ground, I think on average, it's like 8 degrees colder.
How important
deep it is.
bees are to the ecosystem. If all bees died, all people die. We have to really understand that. How our food is made.
Yes.
How our plants are pollinized.
Bees pollinate 1 out of every 3 bites of food we eat. And it's not just apple or the almond that you've had today or your cup of coffee. It's the beef that you're eating that grazed on alfalfa. When our bee populations are healthy, that's a good sign for our planet, because over 75% of plants need bees for pollination. Our world would look so different without honeybees and the over 20,000 species of bees that do so much work for our planet. If we want our grocery shelves to look like they do now and to have a diverse diet, we need to treat our bees better and make sure our bee populations are healthy.
If all of a sudden the Dems...
My dream, right? My dream with everything is to be able to own a nice house on some land, right? 10 acres of land. Now, I've always wanted like just 1 acre of, like when you go to the grocery store and you see they have the seeds, right? You can buy like carrots, cabbage, just the seeds. Well, they have seeds that are just wildflowers. I watch videos of people that own 10 acres, and they'll have an acre and they'll just buy big old bags of those wildflower seeds and just throw them out on their land, and they have an acre just full of flowers with butterflies and bees and just pollinators, right? That's my dream, y'all, to have just 1 acre of that. And one day when we get there, CaveFam, we're going to be making some good video content, y'all. I promise you that.
Did flip in August, and they put a Newsom, Michelle combination. Do you know what mainstream media would do with that? CNN, what Jimmy Fallon, Colbert, all these podcasts, the Oprah Winfrey, the NBA, LeBron.
Forget it.
Do you know what Taylor Swift, do you know what these guys would be doing? It would be bonkers. By the way, if it is Michelle and Newsom, it's going to be a dogfight. If it is Michelle and Newsom, it's going to be a dogfight.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to beat them.
And that, okay, let me ask this question. The little chance that you don't think it's going to be Biden, what's your chance? 1%? 5%?
No, it's higher than that.
Okay.
I'm in 0% defending Joe Biden as a good candidate. I think he's a freaking disaster. But I think they're ready for the disaster.
The first book I tell anybody to read is The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. That's the beginning. You've got to fix this. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is this. The second book is The Magic of Thinking Big. So The Magic of Thinking Big taught me right away, man. Steve, you got to elevate your thought process. Don't aim low, aim high. Aim for the moon in case you miss, you still be amongst the stars.
All right, K-Fam, there you have it. I don't know what's going on with my little back wall back there. Apologize about that, but just want to let you guys know I did order that book. I don't know why. Someone's telling me to read. So when I was looking for my little motivational clip, I just typed in The Power of Reading. The little Steve Harvey clip popped up. I ordered that Power of Thinking, Positive Thinking, right? Just ordered it on Amazon. It's going to be here Friday. You know how much that was? That book can change your life. I don't know. Might change your mindset. A mind shift can happen after reading that book. You know how much that cost? $10. $10 for the paperback. Ordered it. It'll be here Friday. 10 minutes a day, y'all. 10 minutes a day of reading. You'll finish a book a month. Because there's going to be some days when you're sitting there in your zone and you read for 30 minutes, an hour, right? You get that book done. You have a book a month. Reading's powerful, y'all. There's powerful things in reading. I'm trying to get better at it. I read sometimes. I want to read more. That's a discipline I would love to build. But hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. If you made it this far, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe to your boy, and again, leave some comments down below, some topics you guys want to see on here. I'm going to be uploading TikTok Sunday, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Tuesdays, Thursdays are going to be kind of what my live is, where we watch 2 full videos on YouTube on a topic that's going on. Maybe the Iran war, I don't know. We're going to do a couple of those a week and some TikToks, y'all. So make sure you guys leave me down some comments down below, because your boy be struggling on trying to find some good content, y'all. But hey, this is Segovia. Hope you guys have a good rest of the week. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm out of here. Later.